Next, I want to update you on the preliminary findings released yesterday by the IDF on the strike on two senior Hamas terrorists on Sunday night in Rafah and the regrettable civilian casualties that resulted. These two Hamas terrorists were both responsible and actively planning deadly attacks on Israelis. Their deaths saved lives. You can see the initial findings for yourself on the IDF website, but I wanted to highlight here some key points. IDF are focusing on the secondary explosions, likely from a Hamas ammunition warehouse near the targets that were unknown to our forces. Intercepted conversations between terror activists released indicate that the IDF strike was a small attack and that the Hamas ammunition warehouse nearby caused significant secondary explosions, which led to the fire. This is evidenced by footage from Gazans showing secondary explosions. And contrary to reports, the strike was 1.8 kilometers away from the designated humanitarian area that we have called civilians to evacuate to. The strike was conducted using the smallest munitions in the IDF armory used by our jets. Our munition alone could not have ignited this fire. The investigation is ongoing. It will be swift, comprehensive, and transparent. Our war is against Hamas, not against the people of Gaza, which is why we convey deep sorrow for this tragic loss of life. But a tragic incident in Rafah is yet another clear example of Hamas's double war crime of targeting Israeli civilians from within the Palestinian population. Make no mistake, that ammunition that appeared to have caught fire and resulted in the death of Palestinian civilians was meant for us. It was meant to take Israeli lives. So either way, Hamas is satisfied. Hamas wants Israelis to die. Hamas wants Palestinians to die for their sick goal of obliterating the Jewish state. And here's another thing that Hamas wants you to do, to shift the blame to Israel for their double war crime. Don't fall for it. Don't incentivize their methods of war by not reporting the truth and publishing the Hamas narrative, Hamas propaganda, Hamas statistics throughout this war. I noticed there was a viral social media campaign in the last 24 hours or so reading, "All eyes are on Rafah." Well, all lies are on Rafah. Don't rush to conclusions. Wait for the facts. I now want to shift your attention to some overlooked aspects of the war. First, notice this figure. More than 17,500 missiles were launched at Israeli territory since the beginning of the war from two fronts combined, Gaza in the south and Lebanon in the north. Israel refuses to accept this reality. This will not be our routine. No other country would have tolerated this. And second, don't neglect the other terror fronts of this war. Today, yet again, an Israeli community, Bat Hefel, came under fire by Palestinian terrorists shooting from the Tulkarem area in the West Bank under the control of the Palestinian Authority. Side note to Norway, Ireland, and Spain, this is your recognized Palestinian terror state in action. Lastly, an update on our efforts to flood Gaza with aid and counter Hamas's efforts to increase the civilian suffering there. Yesterday, 465 humanitarian aid trucks went into Gaza. 124 trucks were coordinated and transferred to northern Gaza. In addition, 45 pallets containing tens of thousands of packages of aid were airdropped. There are 8 operational field hospitals and 3 mobile clinics, as well as 3 new hospital initiatives that are currently being reviewed. Fuel is also entering Gaza in support of humanitarian infrastructure there. And using this fuel, the Palestinian Water Authority refueled the water pumps in northern Gaza.